We'll be presenting to you I Can't Have Lung Cancer, I Don't Smoke, which is a case study of smoking and lung function. Jack was a healthy man in his 60s. He loved playing tennis and being active. One day he went to his doctor's for a routine checkup, but his cough caused the doctor alarm, and he scheduled Jack for a chest x-ray. Jack was concerned about getting this x-ray done, but his doctor assured him that it was just precautionary. The day after he got the test done, he was scheduled immediately to get his results revealed to him by the doctor. Jack thought it was odd that he wouldn't just be told over the phone, but scheduled the appointment anyways. The next day, Jack was shocked to hear that he had a small tumor on the left side of his lungs. He was in disbelief because he had never smoked before and thought that cancer was an impossibility. A week later, the tumor and half of Jack's lungs were removed in surgery. It was discovered that Jack had a small cell carcinoma but had yet to metastasize. A carcinoma is a group of cells that have an unregulated growth. When a carcinoma metastasizes, it means it moves from the spot where it began to grow into other parts of the body.
Jack met with his oncologist, who informed him that because the tumor didn't metastasize, there would be no need for further treatment. Survival rates for cancer patients before a tumor metastasizes is 90%, but when the tumor is able to metastasize, survival rates drop to below 20%. An oncologist is a doctor who specializes in cancer. Jack was puzzled as to how he could get cancer if he never smoked. Although smoking is a dangerous carcinogen, there are many chemicals that we come in contact with daily that exposes us to the risk of cancer. Cancer occurs when our DNA undergoes mutations or changes that cause our DNA to stop producing or coding certain proteins. Carcinogens are cancer-causing agents such as the obvious things like smoking or not so obvious things like peanut butter or mushrooms. In some instances, if a smoker has been a non-smoker for 15 years or more, their risk of getting cancer is lowered back down to the risk that non-smokers are exposed to. This is not the case for more serious lung issues like emphysema. Emphysema is a long-term deterioration of the lungs that cannot be reversed or cured. When you breathe air in, it travels down the larynx and into the trachea, which splits into two bronchi. The larynx is a scientific name for what is commonly known as the voice box. The trachea is more commonly known as our windpipe, and the bronchi is where the trachea splits into two pieces and first enters the lungs.
Each singular bronchus progressively branches into smaller and smaller passages until a bronchiole is reached. The bronchiole is a small tubular pathway that opens into a large connection of sac-like openings called alveoli. Alveolar sacs look like a bunch of grapes at the end of each tube. We have over 500 million in our lungs, and each one is fragile and lined with blood vessels. The goal of our lungs is to create a gas exchange, to get oxygen into the blood and to get carbon dioxide out. If alveolar sacs are destroyed, then when air is breathed in, there is a diminished ability to have it diffuse into the blood. Emphysema occurs slowly over time because it diminishes the cilia that line the branching of the system of the bronchi. Cilia line the bronchi and are responsible for catching foreign particles in the mucus that covers them. When too many particles gather in the mucus of the cilia, a person has to cough up the product, which explains the smoker's hack that most heavy smokers get. The hack occurs when too many foreign particles are occurring rapidly and chronically in the lungs. A common symptom of emphysema is difficulty exhaling. To inhale, you contract your diaphragm muscles, increasing the volume of your lungs, which reduces the air pressure below atmospheric pressure. During the destructive process of emphysema, the elastic walls of the bronchioles can collapse. When a person with emphysema tries to exhale, they must work very hard by contracting their chest muscles to squeeze air out of the oversized alveoli and through the collapsed bronchioles. Luckily for Jack, early diagnosis was the key to having a successful surgery and returning to a happy tennis-playing life.